Well, hello, everybody. Everything is live. It looks good. Okay, so if you are watching the replay, that's fantastic. You can post questions below. If you're here with me live, please put your questions in the comments. I would love to share them. And I'm just going to go ahead and share this post into my group. Just getting organized here. And then we will get started right away. Sorry guys, just doing a little bit of tech stuff here and we'll be going in a minute. Okay, whew, I think I have gotten all my tech stuff figured out. For anyone who's here live, if you can see me and hear me, if you could just put a little small hi and tell me yes, I can see you and hear you in the comments, that would be great. And I'm going to get back on the screen. That doesn't confuse me. Okay, perfect. We're good to go. So let me know in the comments if you can see and hear me, hear my voice, see my face. Let me know in the comments below. Today, I want to talk about a few things, and one of them is the topic of my. Stacy says hi. Excellent. Okay, I'm assuming you can hear me. Phew, good. We got the tech straightened out. I moved recently, like 2.5 weeks ago. I moved, so I'm in a new home office. Everything. I got a new setup, and I'm so excited about it. I love it so much. I've got the backyard out the window, but just getting the details straightened out. I expect to do great things from here. But last week I published a blog post that was about whether reishi mushroom is the best herb for menopause weight loss, because you hear about this, like reishi for weight loss, reishi for weight loss. And so I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into what I talked about in the blog post, but also I really just wanted to make sure that I was available here online at least a couple of times a month to connect with any of you who are trying to understand menopause or your hormones or your weight loss or your hot flashes, or why it can be so frustrating going through menopause and the post-menopause years. I just wanted to make sure I was available and here to answer your questions. So if you have any questions at any point, please just put them in the comments. I would love to answer them for you. So this is as much a Q&A as anything else. But I did want to talk a little bit about weight loss because it's such a common issue that we have. And I wanted to talk a little bit about reishi mushroom because it is one of my absolute favorite herbs. It's a tonic herb. It's got so many benefits and it has some very, very good qualities for weight loss, but it is definitely not the complete answer for weight loss either. So I want to talk about the pros and the cons and a little bit of an overview of menopause weight loss and how to make it work. So, why do I love reishi mushroom so much? It's a tonic herb. So tonic herbs are a subset of all the herbs, all the medicinal herbs. Tonic herbs are like this little subset of them. All the herbs that make it into the tonic herbs category share certain qualities. They're very safe. They taste good. They're not too hot. They're not too cold. They're easy to digest. They're non-toxic. They're safe for long-term use. And they're adaptogenic, which means they have this ability to help your body regulate. If something is too high, these herbs help bring it down. If something is too low, the herbs help bring it up. So this is the thing that sets them apart and makes them safe for long-term use. And when you can use herbs that strengthen your energies long-term like this, it opens a whole gateway, a door to a whole new level of being able to get relief. And the reason is because, think about it, say you're having hot flashes, so you take herbs that cool you down. Well, eventually the hot flashes will go away and you'll get colder and colder and colder and you'll get too cold, right? So herbs that drive your energies in one direction, you can take too much of them. You can eventually go too far in that direction. Herbs that are adaptogenic keep bringing you back to where you need to be. So as your energy goes higher, it doesn't also go hotter or colder or in any one direction. So usually when you raise your energies, you try to build your energies, you try to increase your life force. It's really easy for them to get a little bit too much this way or a little bit too much that way, and then you need to back off, right? Like you're too relaxed or you can't sleep or something, you're too hot, you're too cold, right? So you need to back off. Whereas if you're using adaptogenic herbs, you can go higher and higher and higher because it's helping your body stay in this balanced place. So it's kind of an advanced concept. We can talk about, if you guys have questions about that, let me know. But reishi herb is one of these mushrooms. It's very adaptogenic. Now, which of your body's energies does it build up? The number one thing it's known for is the immune system. Like, it's incredibly wonderful for helping to strengthen the immune system, but it also regulates the immune system. So I love it for that, especially now with, like COVID, right? It's great to be taking care of our immune system. So why does reishi get talked about for weight loss? A couple of reasons. One, it's really good for helping your body have healthy fat metabolism, and it's really good for stress relief. So these are the ways in which reishi really, really helps with weight loss. They're sort of like slightly secondary benefits. It's not like, ooh, reishi for weight loss. It's like if your body is processing fats in a healthy way, it's easier to lose weight. It's easier to maintain healthy weight. And if you are not feeling stressed, you're not going to stress eat. Also, if your stress hormone levels are lower in general, then it's easier for your body to get into a place where your metabolism is turned back on. Because when we're very stressed out, we're in like fight or flight. The body's like, send all the blood and energy to your arm and leg muscles. Forget about digestion. We got to run from the tiger, right? So you need to actually be in a relaxed state, not producing stress chemicals. You need to be in a relaxed state for your body that called rest and digest, right? There's fight or flight and rest and digest. The reason it's called rest and digest is because your body can digest food much better when you're relaxed. You need to be in a relaxed state with that part of your nervous system turned on for your body to produce, for example, stomach acid, right? You're not going to digest your food as well without stomach acid. So, reishi helps you to balance stress hormone levels, so it's easier to get into that relaxed state, which helps your metabolism to kind of turn back on. Reishi also helps with fat metabolism. So what I mean by reishi helps with fat metabolism is two things. In menopause, our brain tends to do this thing where it sends out these messages saying, store calories as fat. That's why all of a sudden we get weight around the middle. We get the apple-shaped weight gain, right? It's different weight gain than we used to get. It's this weird, unhealthy, fatty deposits. They can even happen in the body cavities, in the liver, right? So this is an unhealthy type of fat. And reishi really, really helps the body to change, to not, when calories come in, to burn them or to put them into healthy storage, right? Not to put them into unhealthy fat storage. It's been shown incredibly strongly to reduce like fatty liver and that kind of thing. So reishi is really, really good for helping to turn the metabolism back on and helping to process fats in a healthy way by helping the liver to be more healthy. So these are really, really good benefits for menopause weight loss. But the reason that reishi is not a complete solution for menopause weight loss is that menopause, if you started gaining weight all of a sudden in menopause, it was from a hormonal change, right? Your hormones changed. And again, for those of you who are here live, please, if you have any questions about anything, menopause, weight loss, herbs, put them in the comments so I can answer them for you. I want this to be as much of a Q&A as anything else. But the reason that reishi isn't a complete solution for menopause weight loss is that menopause weight loss originally started because your hormones changed. Reishi, it has an overall regulating effect on the body, yes, but it's not like primarily an herb that I think of for the hormonal changes of menopause, right? Where you have decreasing estrogen and progesterone and eventually decreasing testosterone and stuff like that. Reishi's good, practically a little bit good for everything, but that's certainly not what I think of it primarily for. It's not in that category. And so if you really want to turn around the weight gain that's menopause specific, you really, really want to also use something. It can be herbal remedies, but something to address the underlying hormonal cause of that weight gain. If you find something to address the hormones and then you add reishi to help with fat metabolism and stress, then you've got a really, really good combination. But without affecting that underlying hormonal change, you can be struggling against some really difficult metabolism slowdown that can make weight loss so frustrating. And the hormonal changes, that's a little bit different topic than what we're going to talk about today. I certainly love to talk about that. I talk about that all the time. Basically, your hormones are dropping during menopause, right? So estrogen and progesterone are dropping. And one of the big things that happens here that messes with weight gain is if progesterone drops lower than estrogen, you get this estrogen that seems like it's too high because it's higher than your progesterone. That makes it hard to lose weight. And also, our testosterone can drop as well, especially a little bit farther into the menopausal process. That testosterone level can drop. Testosterone, that's like your male hormones. That's like your fire. That's your spark. That's your metabolism, right? If you don't have fire, you don't have digestive energy, you're not burning up your food cleanly, and it's hard for you, you get cold, you get that low thyroid, that sort of like cold and sluggish and puffy and weight gain, right? So you need to have enough fire. But in menopause, you're like, I want more fire, I want more metabolism. So you take herbs or remedies that beef up your fire, and guess what? They make you feel really hot. So if you're already having hot flashes, you cannot just boost your fire. You have to build up your female hormones first, water, and then you can bring the fire up to match them and you won't get too hot. So it's sort of like your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone all need to be high enough during and after menopause to keep your metabolism turned on. And then helping to manage stress and make sure your liver is processing fats in a healthy way. That combination, when you get that going on, it's like you can eat a normal, healthy diet and just naturally be at your ideal weight. It's amazing. So, anyway, if there's any other general tips that I have for menopause weight loss, it would be to consider the possibility of a slightly lower carb diet, though I'm not a fan of no carb diets, not long term at all. And then the other thing would be to learn to differentiate between healthy carbs and sugar, right? So, like refined carbohydrates and sugar, I really do find that refined sugar can be much more difficult for us to process than it used to be when we were younger, whereas some resistant starch and healthy carbohydrates can help to keep us balanced with lots of fiber and keep our brains happy and really help with mood and sleep and things like that. So it's much nicer to kind of, I find, do menopause weight loss in a balanced way by using things like reishi for fat metabolism and stress control, and using herbs or other remedies to build up your hormone levels, which has so many benefits when it comes to signs of aging, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And then to find a balanced diet that if you want to be strict about something in your diet, I would say eliminate refined sugar, but then look for something that is that works for you, but that's balanced in terms of healthy carbohydrates, protein, healthy fats, that kind of thing. I mean, we definitely need fats for making hormones. It's not a low, don't go for like a super low fat, low calorie diet. That also can depress your metabolism and be very frustrating when you're trying to lose weight. You can actually lose weight with like a balanced diet and a moderate, not a crazy amount of exercise, if you do things that work with your metabolism. So those were kind of some of the main things I wanted to say. If you want to know more about reishi for weight loss, definitely go and look at the blog post I published last week over at danalavoielac.com. I have all the information, I'm looking at it here, about the scientific studies showing the links, but that like showing how reishi works on the fat metabolism. Excuse me. It also helps with inflammation. It helps with blood sugar regulation quite a bit. So it does a whole lot of wonderful, wonderful things. It also seems to be incredibly healing for the intestinal flora. So the healthy microorganisms that live in our gut, reishi has this incredibly huge benefit for them as well. So it helps improve digestion in some ways as well. So check out the blog if you want more information about how, like in clinical studies, reishi helps with fat metabolism and stress, things like that, but the results are overwhelming that it does. Plus, like I said, it has this wonderful benefits for your immune system. So let me just go and check on Facebook and make sure there aren't any more um, comments coming in. But for you guys who are here live, say hi. Let me know, where are you joining me from? Where are you? Are you here in the United States? I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Eugene, Oregon. Uh, Oh, Angela says, glad you're talking about reishi, queen of the mushrooms. You know, Angela, reishi is one of my favorite mushrooms. My tonic herbal teacher, not the teachers I had when I was getting my master's degree in Chinese medicine, but the person that I studied with for about 10 years afterwards when I was learning tonic herbalism. Reishi, I remember one time him saying at the end of a class, like a really, really long, many, many hours, very, very intense class with a huge amount of information. If you take one thing away from everything I've taught you, it's just to try to get as many people as you can to take reishi mushroom. That would be really good for the world in general. Like reishi, if there's one herb, it's like considered very safe for pregnant women and nursing women. It's one of the safest herbs. It's one of the most adaptogenic. It's one of the most protective. It's wonderful for stress. It just has these wonderful effects that ripple out through your whole being and even can make you what they call more compassionate, develops your shen, right? So it's really a wonderful herb. It's not a complete menopause solution because it's not going to help increase those hormone levels necessarily. I mean, in some secondary ways it can, like if you're less stressed, your body might be able to make more progesterone, but it's not like giving you those hormonal building blocks specifically. Um, Angela says, if I eat refined sugar, I wait within 30 minutes, I have a hot flash. Yeah. So isn't it amazing how, oh, Sylvia, you're so welcome. If you have any questions, please put them in here. I'd love to know where you guys are joining me from too, if you feel like sharing. Um, so yeah, I find it very interesting that I grew up eating sugar and I didn't think that much about it. And now the more I learn about refined sugar, the more I realize how impactful it is on our bodies. So if you're having a tiny, tiny amount, you're having 1 or 2 squares of 70 or 80% dark chocolate as a treat once a day. And, maybe it has like a tiny bit of organic sugar or coconut sugar in there, that's a small amount, but if you're really watching out for sugar in all the places that it shows up, like I said, if I'm not a real big about being super strict about diet in general, like at the moment I am avoiding gluten because my body is producing these, anti-gliadin antibodies that are what I have a little bit of a compromised digestive system right now. So if something like that, if you're celiac, of course, be strict about avoiding gluten. But if there was one thing in general I was going to say be strict about, it would be reduce refined sugar. Reduce refined sugar. I've read so many different things about carbs, high carb diets, low carb diets. I think middle of the road is good. What time of day you eat the carbs can make a difference. But we're talking, sweet potatoes and quinoa and rice. It's the refined sugars that they are processed so differently in our body, more like a drug than a food. And the ripple effect that they have on our hormones is very significant. Like Angela says, I eat sugar, I have a hot flash. So they kind of increase inflammation, they spike our blood sugar, they affect our hormones, they affect our nervous system, our stress. I mean, it's like they have a very powerful effect on our brain, and sugar is even really addictive on a brain level. So if you want to reduce one thing in your diet, think about refined sugar. And then I find that the diet that works best varies so much from woman to woman. Depends on the health of your digestive system. Sometimes something like a Whole30 diet, which is like a healthy sort of high carb paleo diet, can work. And there's other diets that include more grains, healthy grains, quinoa and rice, and and beans and things like that, that can be a lot higher in carbs, that can, like the slow burning carbs, can really help some women to feel much better. And you can still lose weight on that for sure. So, okay, so who else? The other things, one other thing that I thought I would touch on if nobody else has questions specifically, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comments, is when it comes to menopause weight loss, the hormone piece is really important. Not let I talked about this earlier, not letting your hormones drop too low, not letting estrogen get higher than progesterone, and keeping even testosterone high enough. But managing stress levels, I also mentioned that because that is really important in terms of our metabolism and our digestion. And reishi mushroom, it's amazing how herbal remedies can help manage stress because of course we can meditate to manage stress. That's like, I definitely recommend that. We can do breath work, mindfulness, mantras, gratefulness. It's wonderful. But I have a lot of experience with meditation and also plenty of experience with my hormones and energies being out of balance or depleted. And I find that when your hormones or energies are out of balance or depleted, you can meditate a lot and get relatively minimal benefit. Whereas when your hormones and energies are in a good place, a little bit of meditation will give a massive benefit. Because meditation is like asking your nervous system to relax, asking your system to switch from that fight or flight into rest and digest. And for us to be able to settle into rest and digest, our energy needs to be able to be grounded. And in menopause, what happens is that our female hormones decline, and our female hormones are our grounding energies, right? In Chinese medicine, which is what my background is in, our female hormones are our yin energies. These are our calming, cooling, grounding energies, as opposed to fire, right? Water and fire. See, Sylvia, I love that you said that it's hard to meditate when you're hormonally off. I mean, you can train, like you can meditate, but it just doesn't feel the same. Like to me, meditating when your hormones are off is sort of like trying to get through this door that is closed and locked. It's very difficult. Whereas when your hormones and energies are balanced, it's like you want to go through the door and the door is open. And all you have to do is take that step. Sit on the mat, take 3 deep breaths. You can walk through that door. You're in rest and digest. You're calm. Your body switches over to producing non-stress chemicals and hormones. I mean, it's wonderful. And so I find that taking the right herbal remedies is like opening that door because they can help manage stress levels and they can help build up those cooling, calming, grounding energies. So then when you go to step into that place, you physically and mentally your body is able to do that. Otherwise, it's like you put yourself there and then you spring back up, you spring back up, you spring back up. It's like there's nothing holding you down. It takes so much mental discipline if that energy is not there holding you down. Yeah, it's like trying to tell a person bound to a wheelchair to run. Exactly, exactly. You can spend like 6 hours a day meditating and barely get into a rest and digest state because you might put yourself into it, but then, you know, a cat scratches on the window and boom, you're out of it. Like anything, it just shoots you out of it. Your body reacts to anything by just shooting into fight or flight and releasing all these stress hormones, right? It's not grounded, it's not stabilized. And that's really one of the things that is not just for weight loss, but in general for menopause, that we want to have both help managing our stress hormone, regulating our stress hormones, but also building up those grounding energies. And isn't it funny that that's exactly what I was talking about for weight loss? Reishi helps manage the stress, and then we need things to help make sure that those female hormone levels are high enough. That is our grounding energy. So when you combine those things together, helps with menopause.